So what happened in this particular case? We've spoken about the 500,000 Ghana cedis. To prove that, this is what the state did. Realize that Maslock sent ADB check to Obatampa. Obatampa said, based on the interest that you are charging, we are not able to access the fund, so we want to just send you back the check. Then Madam Sedina Tamakloe then told them that they should rather bring her cash. 2 officers of Maslock were called as witnesses. We called the accountant, of Obatampa. We called the accountant of Obatampa. We also called the board chair, who is also a chief.
Board chair of?
Obatampa.
Okay.
These students came from Obatampa, and what did they say? The first one said, Madam Sedina asked them to cash the money. They went to their bank, it's a community bank within Ashanti region, to withdraw the 500,000 Ghana cedis. They drove to Accra, the 2 of them. When they go to Accra, not Accra, just like Accra is very big, but specific place.
Oh, the money was drawn from Kumasi?
Yes, a community bank. I think the community is not, it's a Mentia community
bank. And they held the cash and traversed Accra Kumasi Road?
Yes.
Over 200 kilometers?
That one is another matter. But that's actually what happened.
But why didn't they fly?
Oh, that's a personal decision. They came to Accra, met her at Bachona Total Filling Station, gave her the money. Now, to ensure that we had evidence to the fact that they withdrew the money from the bank, from the Obatampa account, we tendered the bank statement for Obatampa.
Showing that 500,000 had been withdrawn on a certain day.
Exactly.
Did the bank statement also show that a certain check had gone from Maslock into Obatampa?
Yes.
And you showed the cost that?
ADB, that was not in dispute.
Okay.
Because that was ADB check. Mm-hmm. So when Madam Sedina Tamakloe received this amount, the 500,000, 2 of them brought the amount. The 2 testified in support of the prosecution. Then we realized that we needed to have evidence from Maslock, whether indeed the money went into Maslock accounts. Mm-hmm. And because of that, we needed to go into the books of Maslock. Mm-hmm. We called the chief finance officer or the finance officer of Maslock to come and testify. And then also he said that, yes, from our books, we do not have the 500,000 cedis as having been refunded.
So they have it gone?
Exactly.
They don't have it coming back?
Exactly. Mm-hmm. Now, after Batapad returned this money, then they realized that, we didn't take any document from Madam Sedina. And so the chairman then called Madam Sedina that we needed to have something from you. Otherwise, when the auditors come, we'll be in trouble. Mm-hmm. The Sedina said, yes, send one of your staff to my office to go and see my secretary so that they will be able to get the receipt. The person who went to the secretary testified, as the accountant at Maslock. Mm-hmm. He said he came to Accra, went to Maslock, went to see the secretary. The secretary handed over a white envelope to him. He opened it, it was that receipt. So he took the receipt back to Obatampa. And so you see how the evidence, apart from oral...
So why didn't he testify the original copy of the receipt?
He said when he went to Obatampa, we went back, he had a photocopy. And it was a photocopy that he had. In fact, it's on record. He said he had a photocopy, but not original. And as Bafo explained, photocopy is as good as the original. Secondly, counsel for Sedina, if they wanted to object to the tendering of the photocopy, they should have done so for the court to rule on same. During the trial, they never questioned the authenticity of Exhibit A, the receipt Sedina Tamakloe authored for Obatampa. Now, apart from the receipt, apart from the oral evidence, we also had the evidence of the head of finance at Maslock. We also had the auditors who did a forensic audit, Paul, not normal audit. Mm-hmm. A forensic audit was conducted. And that audit also shows that, indeed, that 500,000 never got back to Maslock. So the key question before the court was the money given to Sedina or not? Josephia Sewa, after evaluating the evidence, both the oral evidence and the documentary evidence, came to a conclusion that, indeed, the money went to Madam Sedina Tamakloe. And if Madam Sedina Tamakloe wanted the court to know her side of the matter, she could have also testified and said, my lady, yes, they fled all the evidence, but I'm also here to also discharge a burden on me in a loose form just to raise doubt about the evidence offered by the prosecution. This she did not do. And so if you look at the evidence regarding the 500,000, everything was intact. In the cross-examination of PW2, who tendered that Exhibit A, Sedina's counsel never questioned or challenging on Exhibit A. His cross-examination basically was about the capacity, legal capacity of Maslow, and about the receipt not being on the letterhead of Maslow. But who will want to issue a receipt when he or she knows that the money he has taken is not something he has taken back?
But that's of interest to me. So what was on the receipt? Did she say, I, Sedina, on this day received money?
Yes.
That's a kind of...
Yes.
Yeah.
Meaning that she has received the money. And that was the interest of Watampa. They were not interested when the money had gone back to McGraw. They've given the money to the CEO.
So she was not receiving the money on behalf of Maslow then?
Because they, from their end, she gave them a receipt. That was what they needed. And so in Maslow's books, you will not find that exhibit. Mm-hmm. Because she intended not to return the money to Maslow.
Yeah.
And so maybe if you go to the appeal, the judge on the Court of Appeal, they said, oh.
But another thing is the receipt was not taken from her hand. It was taken from a secretary.
Yes. And so that's why she was needed.
Okay.
That's why she ought to have testified to state her side of the matter. To say that, yes, my lady, this receipt, I never asked them to go for the receipt. This receipt, the signature there is not mine. Then he will come in. Lawyers, they know, as trained lawyers, you may even want to go and conduct your own investigations, do your own forensics on the signature, to come and confront the person to say that this document isn't that of my client. That thing was not done. So that is for the 500,000. There's one other thing about 50,000 Ghana. That's very small, looking at the amount. That amount to, Madam Sedina told her driver, a Maslow, to go and take the money from the accounts office and send to her. 50,000.
Accounts office of which accounts
Maslow.
office? Maslow's own accounts
Yes.
office. So she took cash
From
from the accounts office
yes,
to the CEO.
CEO.
The drivers then sent the money to her.
To her.
Okay.
But that money was not accounted for. She never used that money for the benefit of Maslow. And so she was charged with stealing that amount. That driver came to court.
The Maslow driver who took
Yes.
Sedina was in court.
In court. He testified to say that, yes, you asked me to go for the money, I sent the money to you, and you took it. As to what you did with it, I cannot say. The driver also added that after he had gone to Iyoko, he later got to know that Madam Sedina was denying that she did not receive the money. The gentleman also added in his evidence that, indeed, when he heard about that issue, he went to Madam Sedina's house, said, Madam, I heard that you were denying that you didn't receive that money. You took the 50,000. I'm here to find out whether indeed you are denying. And the gentleman said, in the presence of Madam Sedina's, is it daughter or son, and the husband, Sedina said, oh, indeed, I had the money.
He said all this in the court?
In the court. So, Sedina was also convicted on this act of stealing of the 50,000.